Hey guys, welcome to our first Pro Gun podcast. In this episode, we're going to take the data from the CDC and the FBI related to 2021 gun deaths. We're going to analyze it and we're going to show you data the way it should have been represented. Government agencies constantly distort the facts regarding firearms and firearm-related deaths. So we're going to show you what the data really says and show you what the true story is. So now let's take a deeper dive into the 2021 gun death statistics and see what the data is really telling us. This data is available from the FBI and the CDC. Now, let's see what the data is really telling us. In 2021, there were 48,830 deaths by firearm. 26,368 of those were by suicide. 20,996 were homicides. Now that's already less than half of the total count. In 2021, there were 61 mass shootings with 103 people dead. That's less than 0.5% of all the firearm committed homicides. The FBI defines a mass shooting as 3 or more people injured or killed, excluding the shooter. If you look at the percentages, 54% are suicide, 43% homicide, 1% were preventable or accidental, 1% undetermined, and 1% is legal intervention, which were people killed by law enforcement. So when they post statistics and tell you the number of people killed by firearms in 2021 is 48,830, the real number is 20,996 because those were homicides. So you could see where I'm going with this, right? It's very easy to skew data and misinterpret the data. But as a data analyst, I have 30 years experience doing data analysis, so this is why I decided to take this data and show it in a meaningful way and show you what the numbers really represent. Now, let's break this down by the type of assailants. So the 2021 gun deaths by assailant type. The shocking part to me is that 61% of the murders were committed by family members or acquaintances. Intimate partners accounted for 14%, and strangers accounted to 25%. Now, in a mass shooting, the shooter is probably a stranger. However, based on the FBI definition of a mass shooting that is 3 people or more, excluding the shooter, any one of these categories could include a mass shooter. A family member that kills more than 3 people in his family, or intimate partner who kills more than 3 people, etc. But I just think it's interesting to show how large of a percentage murders by family members or acquaintances are. Now, let's take a look at the gun deaths by category. 35% of the gun deaths are gun-related, 26% are domestic violence, 13% are interpersonal disputes, 10% robbery/home invasion, 10% workplace, 4% terrorism, and 2% shootouts. Now keep in mind, again, the FBI's definition of a mass shooting is 3 or more people excluding the shooter, and that can fall into any one of these specific categories as long as it meets that criteria. I'm not shocked at the gang-related, but I'm still a little surprised that the domestic violence is so high at 26%, and I think 10% at the workplace is even high. But this just shows you when you have the data and you do analysis, how you can further break it down. It's very deceiving when you just take the whole number as opposed to breaking it down into pieces, and then you can see that all these categories and criteria are not fully illustrated if you just take the total number into consideration. Now let's take a look at the 2021 mass shooting gun deaths by gun type. And this is important. 56% are handgun related, 13% are rifle related, and if you listen to the politicians, they lead you to believe that most mass shootings are caused by assault weapons and assault rifles, which I'm going to cover in a separate podcast, but for all intents and purposes, they're lumped into the rifle category. So contrary to what we're told, the data shows that only 13% of the shootings are using rifles. 4% involve shotguns. 12% is a combination of a handgun and a rifle. 12% is a combination of a handgun and a shotgun. And 3% is a combination of handgun, rifle, and shotgun. And like I said, it all depends on how you want to present or misrepresent data. But based on the actual data, contrary to what we're told, the amount of deaths caused by rifles are only 13%. Just like they lead you to believe that most of the shootings are mass shootings, when the data clearly shows that less than 0.5% of the firearms related deaths are from mass shootings. So I hope this is helpful, and this is another typical example of how data could be used and misused. Thanks for listening to our podcast. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel. If you like what we do, please consider being a member so we can continue to bring you quality product reviews. Thank you.